Hey, how's it? Oh man, cringe. How's it, Brah? Oh, Brah. No. Stop. Okay. So I've been running into a lot of my old regulars and they all ask me, dude, it's been a long time. How was Hawaii? So in today's video, I want to talk about what it was really like working for a corporation and living in Hawaii. Waikiki to be specific. So come along, let's go. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the cost of living there in my personal experience. So I was looking for apartments in the Waikiki area because I did not want to buy a car, and my girlfriend already had a car, so I didn't want to buy a car. I wanted to find somewhere I could work, where I could walk to work. And when you live in central Waikiki, everything's walking distance, which was amazing. The cost of living there was not. So the average rent, in my experience, when I was looking for an apartment, I found a lot of places to be around $2,000 to $3,000. That is with a bedroom and a living room. I ended up finding a place that was a studio apartment, and I can't remember the square footage. I want to say it was around 300 square foot. It was tiny. I lived in the heart of Waikiki, and I remember you open the door and literally maybe 15 to 20 feet and you're on the lanai already. And for those of you that don't know what a lanai is, that is also the balcony. My girlfriend actually found that place for about $1,600 a month. It was cool. It came with a few amenities, no gym, but it did come with a parking spot for her car and a pool and hot tub upstairs on the roof, which was super awesome. It had the view of the entire city, and it was among one of the tallest buildings in Waikiki. Now, the average income for a chef of my stature, I think at the time when I first moved there, I was about 8 years of experience, and most of them were hiring for 30 to 35 hours at $12 to $17 on average. So if you think about it, your paychecks, if you worked 35 hours, will come out to be $800 after tax. And a lot of the chefs that I worked with, or a lot of the friends that I've made over there, they were telling me how, yeah, we have to have 2 jobs or we live with 7 other people. And it's just insane to think about in order to make it there as, you know, as a nobody, and how many hours you have to put in just to scrape by, and how it was really difficult. The culinary student that just graduated, she was working beside me at Morimoto, and she told me she made $12 an hour, which is, culinary students, if there are any culinary students watching this, go to find a job before you graduate. Put in those hours at a restaurant, work the dish pit, anything. Because if you have a fresh out of college with no actual restaurant experience, chances are you're going to start at a very low pay rate, and you'll be lucky enough if you get the job. Groceries were about $200 a week for me and my girlfriend. It was hard. It was difficult. Most of the nights I would try to eat at work so that I didn't have to eat when I got home. It was rough. It was tough. The gas prices over there weren't too bad. I remember them being around $3, and that's not, considering it being Hawaii, that to me it's not that bad. Here in Pensacola, it's about $2.50, $2.30 right now. Okay, so now I want to talk about the restaurants that I worked with and why I will never work for corporate restaurants again. So I was interviewing at a place called Kona Grill, and it was on the second floor of this big plaza area on Kalakaua, which is the main strip of Waikiki. I didn't think about this, but it was a corporate restaurant, and the lady I was interviewing with said, well, if you want to do specials, we have to get that approved and passed through the higher ups. The managers have to approve of the role. Off-put about that. I didn't think about it at the time. And what's funny about that is Morimoto's hiring manager gave me a call in the middle of that interview, which I thought was hilarious. After I checked out my voicemail that they had left from Morimoto. I remember I met with my girlfriend at Starbucks just to talk about it, and I listened to the voicemail and they called me back saying, hey, we'd love for you an interview. I met up with them and ended up accepting the job as CDP of the sushi bar of Morimoto Asia Waikiki. So at Morimoto, and the first 2 months, we were pretty much just learning the menu, learning the kitchen, where things go. It was a huge kitchen. I remember it was beautiful, and all the equipment, the expensive equipment that was in there was just, it's like a kid walking into a toy store. Tons of recipes that I've like seen on the internet and YouTube and on TV that I was able to make, like the tuna nacho thing that Morimoto had with the anchovy dressing. Man, I got to learn all that stuff and how he does it. So I received a lot of flack and haze for my neck tattoo. If you don't know what that means, in shokunin, which is like a craftsman, more specifically, it's kind of like a professional expert, one's own craft. And I remember one of Morimoto's henchmen saying, like, you got that tattoo way too young, you're not there yet. And I told him, I said, I know I'm not there yet and I'll never be there, but that's why I'm here. And this tattoo reminds me that no matter what, I have to become the best. I have to push myself every day to become the best. Ended up hurting my back, like I said. What was happening was we have two of these giant rice cookers, and one being, there was one here and then one behind it, kind of higher up. So I remember it was a fresh pot of cooked rice, and I have to bend forward over the other rice pot just to pick up the other one. And I remember I like popped something in my back, probably a disc or something. That put me out of work for 2 weeks, and I ended up texting the head chef, who I was kind of bumping heads with anyways. I ended up texting him and saying, hey man, my back is messed up. I'm gonna need another week off, so let me go ahead and just call it now. I want you to find someone else to replace me because I don't think I'll be able to heal in time. So that's what happened with that. So I took the time off. I took 2 weeks off to heal, and I was fine-ish. I was fine enough to go back to work, and I had been doing a lot of research being out of work. So I found this other place called Kaiwa. They were not as much a corporation. The owner did own a bunch of different businesses that weren't sushi. So I was able to do a little bit more as far as being creative goes. This place, I learned tons of traditional dishes, specifically more so nigiri and sashimi, and breaking down of tons of different proteins that I never had a chance to do. Working over there was really cool. They had a lot of teppan, which is like the hibachi grill, the flat tops. That was tons of fun, being able to watch and kind of learn how they do teppan. I guess in Japan, it's not more so the benihana, like volcanoes, pile of rice heartbeat things, and like the show. More so it's a cooking technique, and I loved that. I'm not into the whole like catch a shrimp in my hat type of thing. I'm not into all that. I would rather learn like the old school way of how they utilize this entire grill in different temperatures in different areas. I loved watching the teppan side, and I remember I wanted to learn how to do it, and this girl that was doing it, Amber, she was like, okay, but if you want to learn, I'll teach you. Well, we're gonna start with you cleaning my grill. So one time I did it, and they had like this big stone, this big weird rock thing. It was like a brick, and I had to do that. I had to clean the entire grill. I did that once, and I was like, man, that's tough. And they do that every night. So I worked under Kishi-san, who's super cool, super nice, very understanding, and very patient. Oh, by the way, at Morimoto, I started out at $16 at CDP. I had more experience than some of the people there that were making way more money than me, and they were allowed to work longer hours than me. I didn't think that was fair, and that kind of made me mad. At Kaiwa, they started me out at $15, and I want to say a month later, I got offered $16. So that was great, and I took that raise, worked 2 more months, and then the day I got my next raise, which was supposed to be $17, I told them I had interviewed at this other place, and I'm taking the job there that was starting me out at $17. Which brings me to the next place, Zigu. I absolutely love this place. It was a corporation under Zeton, and big company in Japan that handles tons and tons of restaurants over there. Zigu, I learned a lot of tempura and sushi over there. I learned a little bit of fusion kaiseki, which is a super traditional Japanese type of cuisine. I wish I could have spent more time learning that, but I was hired on as tempura and sushi. There was another guy working there, Katsu-san. He was already doing the sushi there, and I was there pretty much to give him his days off, and I could work alongside him and help him. I already had the experience working sushi, so if I needed to, I could jump on and help him at any time they needed. They started me at $17 an hour, tons of overtime at first. Once we actually opened and had our grand opening, it was super busy, and then I think a month later they started to dwindle down with the hours, which I hated so much because it's like corporate. It's not the head chef's fault, it's not the manager's fault, it's corporate. They're giving you a certain amount of numbi. They're giving you a specific number to stay around as far as their labor costs go. It's like, why hire 10 guys to do one job when you can hire 5 guys to do 2 jobs? And they focused more so on that cost than the product that was going out. However, in the beginning, the first 2 or 3 months, 4 months, I was learning right next to Masaki Nakayama-san, and I was learning so much under him. He worked for a Michelin star chef, so that's my closest I've ever came to and working someone with Michelin stars. Not that I care anyway, Michelin stars, whatever. Those are the 3 restaurants I worked at when I lived in Hawaii. Like I said, they were all corporate restaurants. I'll never work for a corporate Asian restaurant again. So yeah, I loved Hawaii. Don't get me wrong, it was very expensive and I did rack up a lot of debt living there, but it was an experience that can't be replicated. I can't just go to Miami. Well, I could rack up debt anywhere. It was an experience that I do not regret at all. And would I do it again? Absolutely. If the financial situation was a little different and I worked it out smarter than I did, absolutely I would go again. However, if you plan on living in Hawaii, it is just know that it's very tough and it's very expensive to live there. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. What's funny is when I moved back from Hawaii, I saw this shirt at Target down the street from my parents' house, and I was like, man, this is Hawaii, I'm gonna go get it because I miss Hawaii. And I bought this necklace there the last week we were there. Me and Hannah were playing tourist, and we were at Duke's eating lunch, and I saw that little shop that had koa wood carved crafts, stuff like that, and I saw this necklace and I had to have it. So also that backpack back there is from Hawaii. I wish I got more stuff. I should have brought more shirts and clothing and stuff like that back from Hawaii, but I didn't. Anyways, shoots, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you thought it was interesting. Hawaii is an amazing place. If you ever have the chance, please go visit it and check out those restaurants that I talk about. And well, all right, bye.